Major breakthrough in those unsolved Delphi murders, more than 5 years since those two girls were killed.
Those conversations that you heard there are from 8 hours ago. That's when state police and other law enforcement today came together at a briefing at 10 this morning, announcing that, yes, they made an arrest in the murders of two friends, Abby Williams and Libby German. Tonight at 6, we're also getting a look at the suspect for the first time. Indiana State Police say he is 50-year-old Richard M. Allen. So far, he's pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of murder. Tonight, we bring you 13 News coverage, comprehensive coverage, every angle of this case. 13 Investigates Bob Siegel will tell us tonight why certain documents in this case have not been made available to the public. Karen Campbell has reaction from the community there today and what they think about that arrest tonight. But we want to begin tonight with Emily Longnecker, who's been covering this story from the very beginning. She talked today with family members of these two girls. Emily?
Hi, Scott. Well, you know, since news of the arrest broke last Friday, people here in Delphi have been leaving mementos. I wanted to point out to Abby and Libby here at the start of the trail where they were killed more than 5 years ago. And even though there is a suspect in custody, Libby German's family says the path to justice will be an uphill climb.
They never gave up hope this day would come. And finally, after almost 6 years, it has. The families of Abby Williams and Libby German now have a name and face to remember when they think about getting justice for the girls.
It was a kind of bittersweet.
Monday, Libby German's grandparents confirmed after the murders the suspect, Richard Allen, once processed photos for them at the local CVS and didn't charge them for it.
Do you know if that's accurate?
That is accurate.
Allen, living and working in the same community where since the murders, residents wondered if the girl's killer would ever be caught or charged.
That's why we said never stop searching anywhere, because we didn't know where he was. And like I said, Doug Carter had made mention of that, is he could be living right amongst us, hiding in plain sight. And that's what came.
The work, though, not over, as investigators put out a call to the public for more tips, both about Allen and any other information that could lead them to others involved, if that's the case.
Every bit of information that's out there pertaining to this case, I want the investigative team to have that information.
The Patties saying even though there's more investigative work ahead, not to mention a trial, their faith keeps them hopeful for justice.
If it were your child, would you have an option not to be hopeful?
No, absolutely not.
That's why we're hopeful.
Hopeful and waiting for the time likely in court when they'll see Allen in person. Until then, Mike Patty choosing not to address the man now accused of killing his granddaughter Libby and her friend Abby.
Yeah, I'll save those words when I see him face to face.
And Becky Patty saying today she used to think when this day came that she would want to shout about it from the rooftops. And she said, really, there's just an overwhelming sadness because really at the end of the day, nothing can bring these two young girls back. We also reached out to Abby Williams' mom, Anna. She didn't have any comment on all of this today. Abby was her only child, so this is just still a lot to take in for everyone and even the community. My colleague Karen Campbell is in downtown Delphi, and she's been talking to folks in Delphi. And Karen, these murders really changed this town.
Yeah, Emily, they flipped it upside down, right? If there was a word to describe the feeling here in Delphi, as I had a chance to walk around to, meet some of the business owners and, people here on the street, the word would be relief. Relief that finally, police have found the man who they believe is responsible for these murders. Neighbors told me that this is perhaps the best scenario they could hope for because they waited so long for this day to come. The day when, again, authorities would make an arrest. And we met Janice Hinman, like so many others. Janice and everyone else, they waited 5 years to hear this news. And Janice told me, she said, it is a relief that authorities arrested Richard Allen, but there is another lingering concern. Take a listen to what she had to say.
He interacted with everybody in this town. He interacted with all of our children, our babies, our teenagers, with us. He told us, have a good day, stay safe, everyday normal conversation. This man carried on with his life like it was nothing.
Yeah, that is the other half of this feeling. Again, while many are relieved that this news came, it's living with the fact, knowing that this person lived and worked in this area for the last 5 years. Many told me they had multiple interactions with Allen. Looking back, they say they are simply in shock. Now, usually we would have much more information on why police arrested Richard Allen and why they connected him with this crime, why they think he's responsible for the Delphi murders. Police and the Carroll County Sheriff's Office, they are not releasing that information, at least not yet, not at this time. Our senior investigative reporter, Bob Siegel, is going to explain more now on why that is so unusual. Bob?
Karen, when someone is arrested and charged with a crime, prosecutors must publicly file a probable cause affidavit to explain the why. It's required by law, but today that did not happen.
Today's about Abby and Libby.
At today's press conference, the Carroll County prosecutor said he asked a judge to keep those documents under seal because the investigation is ongoing and investigators want more tips from the public.
For that reason and for the nature of this case, the probable cause and the charging information has been sealed by the court.
But that is troubling to some legal experts.
It is surprising.
Novella Needeth spent 2 decades as a public defender, and she now teaches law at Indiana University.
I can't think of ever hearing of a probable cause affidavit being held 30 days after an arrest was made.
The law professor says releasing probable cause information helps ensure due process for the defendant and allows the public to ask important questions. In this case, both of those could be in jeopardy because the whole case is essentially being kept secret. A hearing will be held to determine if the case details should remain under seal, but Indiana State Police say that could take a while.